Yeah, hey, this is Pops from Legal Reform. As you can tell by my videos, I know a lot about the law. Listen, and all I've done, the hardest part was to get people to read the rules of professional conduct and the code of judicial conduct themselves. Because for me, it's always been self-explanatory, especially using the letter of the law. And I had people get mad at me, yell at me, why do I got to know rules of professional conduct? If my lawyer knows that's their job, how come they ain't doing it? I said, why are you asking me? Why aren't you asking them? Better yet, since I'm in Illinois, so why not ask the Illinois, or now it's the Illinois Attorney Registration Disciplinary Commission. It was the Attorney Registration. But anyways, I said, ask them. Showed them on the internet where the complaint form is. Well, how do I know what to put? I says, the rules of professional conduct. They didn't do none of that. Nobody does none of that. That's their job description, their legal obligations too. That's where due process starts, with the rules and the codes. That's effective assistance of counsel guaranteed in the U.S. Constitution, 6th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. And thus, effective assistance of counsel is described in the rules of professional conduct and the code of judicial conduct. Effective assistance of counsel is a double-edged sword, and it cuts through every lawyer and every judge, not just your attorney, but when citing your attorney for ineffective assistance counsel for not doing their job for multiple violations of the rules of professional conduct. So you would have to say ineffective assistance of counsel. So you could literally go in court and say, Your Honor, reporting misconduct is mandatory in both the rules of professional conduct and the code of judicial conduct. So you can walk into court and say, Your Honor, do your job, cite my attorney for ineffective assistance of counsel. The opposing party, or if it's in criminal court, the state's attorney, prosecutorial misconduct, or the opposing party for multiple violations of the rules of professional conduct as well. They failed to report my lawyer. They failed to report you for judicial misconduct, as well as you failed to report yourself for judicial misconduct, and both attorneys for ineffective assistance of counsel based on multiple violations of the rules of professional conduct. Nobody reported each other or themselves. So it's common in every court, no matter what court you go into. Look up the rules. They're easy to understand. If you watched any of my videos, I explain them explicitly, word for word, to the letter, and everybody seems to understand what I'm saying. That's what I used to do with other people. But see, I didn't have a computer. That was before I had a computer. And, I didn't have a lot of money, so I couldn't buy all those books I love to read. So it's kind of like forced in. Some stuff you read, you can't forget. And just because sometimes people say I sound pretty good on the videos or when I talk about it, sometimes I talk a little too fast, or I think too fast. I think too fast, so I start talking really fast. And sometimes I want to get out too much too fast. And but either way, people get upset with me. Why doesn't the judge do this or the lawyers do? They know that's their job. If you don't go in there with the rules and the codes, they're not going to do that. See, they're on the terms that you don't know, so why do it? And it's in the interest of the bar, not in the public interest, and that's a violation of the rules of professional conduct because it says so in the preamble. See, so I mean, you can cite anything and everything in the preamble that they didn't do, and that's a violation. And then you got the rules, competence, communication, expediting litigation, being diligent and expediting litigation would show some competence. So when they violate one rule, it's impossible. It's impossible to violate one, and it's impossible to violate the rules of professional conduct without the code of judicial conduct being violated as well, because mandatory reporting misconduct is mandatory. Any violations of the rules or codes of misconduct and reporting is mandatory. So any judge or lawyer having any knowledge of said rules or violations of said rules or codes are mandatory. They don't even have to be in the courtroom. All they have to do is have knowledge of it. Just having general knowledge. Yeah, they could see it on the news, Like, remember when Linwood, Sidney Powell, and all those other lawyers filed for stop the steal suits? All they went in there was Facebook memes, hopes, thoughts and prayers, hopes and dreams, flew in on, winging a prayer. And they threw them all out because they were false and frivolous. And it tells you in the rules of professional conduct you can't do that. And it's a legal responsibility for all lawyers and the judges as well to investigate the issues in the case before they even allow it in the court. And that would be candid toward tribunal. And that's in the rules of professional conduct. See, so it's just like everything. I mean, people have problems in probate court. I was trying to help somebody with guardianship. And it's real simple because, no matter what you're going through, you have to go to the very beginning. When it all started, how it was supposed to start. And that's in the rules and the codes, all right? In the rules of professional. And that's, so when you talk to your lawyer, he's supposed to go over that with you. He's supposed to tell you that. If you read the rules, you'll understand. And I just threw a couple of them at you. You thought it was common language. A lot of people used to laugh when I would talk to lawyers because I thought they used to think I was insulting them. I was at Cook County court. People were going in there. I was talking about the rules and the codes and telling them to demand a probable cause hearing. They asked what that was. And I explained to them that if they didn't ask for a probable cause hearing, this case will carry on and eventually wind up going to trial. He said, why? I said, watch, your attorney will come over here, public defender will come over here and tell you, here, sign this and you can go. And surely enough, public defender did that, and that's against the law. That's ineffective assistance of counsel. That's violating the rules of professional conduct in its entirety. And the state's attorney knows they're doing this, and they just let it ride. The judge knows this is happening, and they just let it ride. That's judicial misconduct and prosecutorial misconduct. They were supposed to report that attorney for even attempting to make such an issue because in the rules of professional conduct it says they're supposed to defend you as if it was their own existence on the line, as if it was their own life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness that was in jeopardy. All right? So understand that. And you'll understand it a lot better if you read the rules of professional conduct. Due process starts with your lawyer acknowledging his legal obligations to you. Not just to you, but to the public in general. In the public interest. This is how you maintain the public trust. And remember, the Constitution, all the laws of the land and the nation of land is in the public trust, thus belongs to you. They are the trustees of your trust fund. That's what the public trust doctrine is all about, the public trust fund. And if you read it, you'd understand it. Health, public health issues that was in there, and public lands. There's a lot of stuff that I talk about that you should know, but you'll understand a lot better. Probably maybe even quicker if you read it yourself. If you understood anything I read to you, then you'll understand just as good as yourself. And I'm trying to encourage people to do some videos on their own, of their own experiences, and use the rules of professional conduct and the code of judicial conduct to get you some due process, because if you don't have effective assistance of counsel, you didn't have a fair trial. If you didn't have a fair trial, you did not have due process. And I was discussing with some people about a quick and speedy trial. If you don't demand it, you're not going to get it. They're not going to offer it, and they're not going to ask you, no. And even if you demand it, which I've been there, And I've been there with a lot of people, and they'll ignore you. They'll ignore you. So you got to do your best to get it on the record. Don't just tell your lawyer and expect, if you're using a public defender, for him to go tell the state's attorney. And even if you do that, and they do tell, they're going to go tell the judge, and they're going to come back and tell you how pissed off the judge is, and the judge ain't going to like this, you ain't going to like. Just remind them of the code of judicial conduct. You're going to have to take the rules and the codes with you to court. Otherwise, that's not going to happen. They don't allow electronic devices, so I strongly suggest you print them out and highlight every issue you feel violated. I promise you, you'll be angry, you'll be happy, you'll be sad, you'll be joyful. There'll be a conflict of interest in your mind once you get done reading that. But at least there'll be a start of the legal requirement of informed consent. Informed consent requires reasonable knowledge to make an informed decision. In order for you to give that informed consent, and informed consent is a legal requirement before the proceedings can go forth. And that's in every court of law. No matter what state you're in, even if it's federal. Nobody plays by the rules, nor the codes. That's a lot of ammunition. I've never considered myself the brightest person or the most intelligent, but if I can understand it, surely you can too. I'm doing my best to encourage you. To open your eyes and expand your mind. Do as you were created. Evolve. I've always believed a strong mind outweighs that of a strong body. A strong mind outweighs the need of a strong body. But then again, it's a symbiotic relationship. So, I post a lot of videos showing you things to look up. You know, I give you the law to the letter, word for word. Otherwise, I'd be breaking the law. That's crime. All right, thank you and good night. You know, may your Creator always be with you. May He rain as many blessings upon you as He did me, what I call knowledge. And so if anybody's interested, you know, take a walk through my mind on the internet. All right? Tomorrow's can always be a better day. Read to succeed. God bless and good night.